Hi guys, you're so welcome back to another video here on narcscon. Today I would like to get very down and dirty on the narcissist, and I'd like to talk about the type of empath that can really bring a narcissist to their knees. I'm kind of fed up listening to how the narcissist does these terrible things to people, gets away with it, goes off into the sunset with the new supply, without actually looking at the fact that there is a very equal balance of power that's not often talked about in relation to the power of the empathic person who has these qualities going into a relationship with a narcissist. So let's get into it. And by getting into it and understanding more about how the dynamics of the relationship with a narcissist and an empathic person play out and where the power is and the level of control, it really does help you in retrospect to look back at your relationship, to actually identify the qualities that you had, and if it's not too triggering, to understand why maybe a narcissist discarded you and why maybe that's actually a good thing, even though it's excessively painful in the initial stages. Looking back, you will learn so much more about yourself to take forward into your new and your great life. So keep that thought. If you're in a dark place at the moment, you won't always be there. So the type of empath that the narcissist kind of rubs their hands in glee at when they meet and is totally wrong-footed. And totally, each time, because narcissists never learn, they never introspect, because they can never be wrong, because their narcissism protects them from being accountable or being wrong. And it tells them they're always in control and they're always right. And that's why it's called a protective mechanism or defense mechanism. So they just continue to make the same mistake over and over again. If they're lucky enough to meet empaths, doesn't always happen. They often meet other narcissists or normal people who don't have the time of day for them. Anyway, let's take the scene that the narcissist comes across this empathic person, and the empathic person has all the other things the narcissist would like in a person, in that they have money, status, can do good stuff for the narcissist in terms of life's ego stuff. But the icing on the cake for the narcissist is they say, I've got a right fool here. This empath, this person loves everybody, is kind to everybody, doesn't like any unfair situations to occur, always wants to tell the truth, even to their own detriment. I am going to have a fantastic time with this person. This person is going to be so easy to control. Emotions are everything to them, and I'm the master emotional manipulator. Now, they may not say this consciously to themselves. This is going on in the subconscious, because remember, most narcissists are totally unaware that they're narcissistic or narcissists. So they dive right in, and the empath probably and possibly dives right in because the love bombing of the narcissist has been perfected to the nth degree, and the empath is right in there because the narcissist is mirroring all the empath's values and is saying, we're going to have this great, wonderful love affair, fantasy, shared fantasy as they call it, great life ahead, lots of the old future faking, etc., etc. You know the score, guys. Intoxicating, addictive, all those things. But we get through the love bomb, and the empath has a few little red flags coming up because, you know, the narcissist said that they believed in equality, and they've just kind of made a very, say, if it's a guy, a misogynist remark, or the woman maybe made a bitchy remark about another woman or whatever, and they're kind of, the empath scratching their head there and saying, oh, that doesn't add up. to the narcissist's core set of values that they laid out on the table in the initial stages of the relationship, which were actually your values, the empath's values. So there are a few red flags, and then there are a few other things that occur in the relationship that are bigger, more gigantic red flags, such as perhaps the narcissist trying to screw you for a loan, trying to use your credit, abusing you in terms of raging at you or getting you to do all the work and they take all the credit. You know the score again here, guys. You're beginning to see the truth, but you're making excuses because the picture that was built up in the love bomb stage doesn't equate with the actions that are occurring. However, this type of empath can bring the narcissist to their knees because they have the qualities, and I'm not saying empaths are perfect, they have lots of faults, but let's concentrate on the qualities for the time being. The empath may have the quality of truth. Truth is extremely important to them. Justice, fairness, and equality. And while empathic people will use these qualities towards other people in general, the narcissist fails to realize that these qualities are embedded in the empathic person that they've been so delighted to meet, thinking that they're a pushover. The empath can also use these qualities towards themselves. So, although it's not normal, an empath does have a certain amount of narcissistic traits, and narcissism is necessary for survival in healthy measures, will turn those qualities upon themselves and their own situation, sometimes as a last resort. But once an empath sees the truth, perhaps sees the narcissist cheating, perhaps realizes that the narcissist does not have their best interests at heart, the empath can get light bulb moments. And when that light bulb goes on, the narcissist needs to be very afraid. Because at that stage, the narcissist is questioned, the narcissist is refused, the narcissist really loses control quite quickly. Because as I say, once those traits of truth-seeking, justice, kindness to the self, and looking for equality in a relationship are switched on for the empath's self-preservation, the narcissist is going to feel wholly out of control. They're going to do a couple of things. They may do a mini discard to try and bring the empath under control. But if the empath is giving way too much trouble, they are going to do what we call the big discard, because it's never the final discard. That's if the empath doesn't get out first. If the empath gets out first, the narcissist really is on their knees. That is totally devastating to a narcissist, that total lack of control. But invariably, the empath does try to make the relationship work, even when they see what's going on. The narcissist, when the empath has gotten all of these traits coming together at the narcissist, and the narcissist feels they're losing control, or it's too much damn bother, or they have another juicy supply in the offing, will discard at this stage. They'll also try and crush the empath at this stage, because although the empath has effectively discarded the narcissist by standing up to them, the narcissist has to turn around and be the first to pack the suitcase and run out the door, claiming, "I did it. I left. I did the discard. I'm in control. I left because you were really bad. I left because this person has problems." Again, you know the score, guys. The narcissist has to claim and stay in control, even though it was the empath that stood up to them. So, Paula, you say, well, how is that crushing the narcissist? How is that bringing the narcissist to their knees? This is when the fight starts. This is when this type of empath harnesses their narcissistic traits, which are really silent, and the narcissist does not know of their existence, because an empathic person has the narcissistic traits of survival very low down on the scale, and therefore they come up as an empath when you're looking at the personality spectrum, where you have narcissistic, psychopath, then in the middle normal, then empath, and then superly empathic. However, the narcissistic traits are there for survival, and the narcissistic traits of the empath may be pride in oneself, in achieving success, in making sure the truth gets out there, in a sense of justice and that something very wrong has happened. They may go seeking education, and I'm guessing a lot of you have done this. Seeking education on what a bizarre relationship they were in. They may be facing the narcissist's pathetic attempt at trying to convince people that they were actually the one that left, and that the person they left was at fault, you were at fault. They may be smearing your name, going off to something better, etc., etc. And this is on a very pathetic, very unconscious, unawakened level that the narcissist operates on their little rat wheel. They go round and round and do the same thing all the time, just with different people. They put a different person on the rat wheel with them and go round and round. Very boring, there's no growth, and they're very predictable. However, if you are dealing with one at the time of the breakup, I would say that that's probably the worst time that you can go through, one of the worst things in your life, for so many reasons I won't get into here. So how do you crush the narcissist? How do you bring the narcissist to their knees? You use all your empathic traits. This type of empath does. And they use their narcissistic traits to ignore this creature that has treated them so inhumanly and cruelly, and totally ignore this person. And use the strength that you will find at this time in your life to build into yourself, instead of seeking out another to give your energy to. At this time, you realize how vital it is to work on your life and yourself, to rebuild yourself as you want to be. And because you're so exposed and out there, and your feelings are so strong and so raw, it is a time of cleansing. It is a time when you can go out and live the life that you were meant to live. And the strength that you will gain from surviving this type of emotional abuse, maybe physical abuse, maybe mental abuse and spiritual abuse, you will come out the stronger, and you will go on to succeed at what you do. You'll go on to have good relationships in the future, but you will mostly succeed in your life purpose, because that's how you survive this type of abuse. Now those two things, the ignoring of the narcissist's false reality and fake persona, the ignoring of that, and the not acknowledging in any way that that narcissist actually exists, and this will come with your no contact regime, that destroys a narcissist. It gives no fuel to the smear campaign, and in actual fact, your success in life going forward makes people scratch their heads when they hear the narcissist smear campaign and say, well, he says she's a failure. She says he's a failure. They have a problem. They have an addiction. That's not kind of what's happening at the moment. In fact, they've gone on to build a really good business for themselves. They've gone on to have a great relationship. They're really happy. And the narcissist, sniveling little petty smear campaign that they're trying to put out there on you as them being the one that left the problem person just falls apart. They no longer can actually uphold the persona that they were putting around as this great person in your circle. Perhaps they're in a different state, in a different country, perhaps they've no contact with you, whatever. But I'm telling you, they will look. They will know that they mean nothing, that therefore they don't exist, because you're not giving them any credibility in, even if you did chase them for a while after the discard. They expect you to do it forever. So you stop, and when you stop, that narcissist doesn't exist in the person or relationship that they had with you. That's a huge narcissistic injury. And they will look to see how you're getting on, because normally when they look back at people that they've discarded in relationships, they bolster themselves up by that, believing that that person is still interested in them. And I've actually heard this. I have heard this said by a narcissist, that they will never get over me, that those exes will never find my like again, and that I will always be their one true love. That is what a narcissist believes. So if that narcissist, when they come back in for a bit of retrospective juicy fuel and look at you and see what you're doing, and they see you either in another relationship or having a great life, they cannot no longer look. That is too much reality in their face. It's like a punch in the face for them. This is when the narcissist is brought to their knees by a certain type of empath. Guys, let me know in the comments if this experience happened to you, if you believe that you are that type of empath. Give others hope. Tell others your story. Give them hope of the recovery and the fact that sometimes people, as they go through the healing process, although they would never dream of thinking that they would think this when they're cruelly discarded by a narcissist, at some stage in the healing process, you may give thanks to how you dealt with your experience with a narcissist, how you used your pain to your gain, how you stood by your things that were non-negotiable to you, your truth, your justice seeking, your equality, what you believed in, how you built on that in your recovery, and how you made yourself pretty narcissistic proof after the relationship with this person, when you also got the education on the fact that this personality disorder exists. Guys, I'm going to say goodbye for now. I have so many more videos to come, and anyone that has a video or podcast suggestion that they would like, please do leave in the comments also. And a last thing, can I please shout out a big thank you for the super thanks that I've received recently. It helps. And I am bringing out a course, which I promised a long time ago. I'm just getting the time to work on it now. But those donations have really helped. The people have paid it forward, so to speak. And thank you for the support. Listen, take care of yourselves, and bye for now. And I will see you again in the next episode.